Hey, good day to each and every single one of you. My name is Israel Josie. You're listening to Astrology of the Soul. I'm here again. It's that time of the year, that time of the month. I want to talk about the eclipse. Just before I start, also as well, for any of you who are watching this on Twitter or on Instagram, just click the link and it will take you to my YouTube channel and you can watch the full video there. So lots of things happening in the heavens at the moment. We've got quite a few planets that are actually moving retrograde, including Mercury. The good old trickster is up to his usual tricks again. My mind's playing tricks on me, like the song by Scarface. So we've got a Mercury retrograde. Saturn's also retrograde, and I think Saturn's playing a very important role in this eclipse that is coming up on the 16th of July, 2019, which I'm going to get into in a moment. We've also got Jupiter also moving retrograde at this precise moment also as well. Yeah, so there's a big build-up, one could say. But the main focus for this video essentially is about the full moon or lunar eclipse that is taking place in the sign of Capricorn. It's going to be taking place around about 9:38 p.m. That's GMT time, and it should be about 10:38 British summertime. So depending where you're listening to this in the world, do adjust your times accordingly to the GMT times or the British summertime, and you will be able to know what time it is in your location where you were based. So let's get into it. Full moon, a lunar eclipse. This is when the sun, Earth, and the moon all in a row. So you've got the sun at one end, Earth will be in the middle, we're on Earth, and then we've got the moon at the other end in a direct, perfect line, and then we've got this full moon lunar eclipse. That's when the shadow of the Earth blocks out the moon's light, at night. Then we get the lunar eclipse. So this is going to be taking place in Capricorn. Capricorn is a very interesting sign. Capricorn's ruled by Saturn. It's cardinal. It's an earth sign. So the kind of energies that it has, Capricorn is symbolized by the mountain goat. I think that tells us a lot about what Capricorn essentially is about, the nature of what Capricorn is about. Capricorn reminds us the mountain goat is an animal that, it in a very cautious manner, in a very slow, very tenacious, determined manner, will just take its time and just climb the mountain, and it will not stop until it gets to the top. And I think this is something that's inherent within Capricorns naturally, or people who have many planets in Capricorn, or people who may be Capricorn rising also as well. Capricorn reminds us about the hardship of life, being able to reach the top, being able to strive, to be ambitious, to go for something, and reach the top, but also remind of the discipline, the structure, the hardship, the responsibilities that one has to take on that journey of reaching, to the top. Because also Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, there's also something about the nature of authority that's inherently inside Capricorn also as well. On a worldly level, this would represent perhaps maybe the government structures, or whoever's in government, whoever's the prime minister or the president of whichever country where you reside. Because they are, if you want to say, the people who are in charge, who are responsible for the structures and how the running of those structures are being displayed in the country also as well. So we may be seeing a lot of stuff to do with governmental powers also coming to the light with this full moon, because that's what full moons essentially are about. A full moon essentially is about bringing something to the peak, bringing something to fruition, It's about fulfillment. It's about an ending. It's about something reaching its peak. You see, that's what a full moon essentially is about. So we can perhaps maybe expect to see something within various countries, obviously, of course. I'm based here in London, UK, so I'm sure we're going to have our parts to play in it also as well. But we're going to be seeing stuff with, you know, governmental structures, I think, over here in the UK, for example, at this precise moment. And I'm sure wherever you are in the world where you're watching this, you all know that we are actually on the verge of getting a new prime minister, or having a new prime minister. There's two people, Boris Johnson and Jeremy Hunt, that are, you know, they're on the road for that. They're in battle for it at this precise moment. But within the next couple of weeks, we're going to see who is it that is going to be elevated, who is it that is through their Capricorn journey, because we all go through a Capricorn journey in our life. And I'm going to be going through the 12 signs of the zodiac, so I'm going to be letting you know where this full moon, where it's going to be activating for you based on your zodiac sign or your rising sign also as well, and how you can, you know, what you can be aware of over the coming 2 weeks to 6 months. So yeah, so that's quite interesting. So you know, so all around the globe, we are going to be seeing how this energy, this Capricorn energy, is going to be coming to fruition. I think also what's very, very important also as well is that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is also in the sign of Capricorn at this precise moment. He's moving retrograde, fair enough, so he's letting us tidy up those loose ends. He's allowing us to perhaps maybe reflect on our work ethics, our sense of structure and responsibility. So he's really, you know, making sure that, you know, that's been done in an appropriate way. So I think that's really going to add to the power, to the energy, to the magnetism of this full moon in Capricorn. So this is really going to be a real toughie. You know, because you know, Capricorn's, you know, the Capricorn nature is quite tough. You know, the mountain goat is quite tough. Like I said, it won't stop at nothing until it gets to the top of that mountain. So there's something inherent inside the Capricorn nature that it just won't give up. There's also a very strong sense of tradition that's connected with Capricorn also as well. So we may start to also see you know, questions and issues around the sense of our tradition. And also because Capricorn is also the opposite sign of Cancer. And do remember that I did post a video for those of you who saw when I spoke about the new moon in Cancer, which was an eclipse a few weeks back. You know, it's the opposite side of Cancer. So we may also get this sense of tradition, the sense of belonging, maybe issues to do with homes or houses, because houses are built out of bricks. They're built out of the physical, the material things that Capricorn really associates with. So our sense of belonging, the sense of family, the sense of structure, and building who we are is strongly connected with, you know, with Capricorn. So the sun is constantly in Cancer right now, and the moon again is going to be in Capricorn when this lunar eclipse actually takes place. So we're going to actually see you know, expressions from both ends, a combination of Cancer, Capricorn, that axis. We're going to see, we're going to be seeing that, you know, flagging up. So yeah, over the course of the next 2 weeks, I do say that eclipses, they last for 6 months, and in many cases even longer than that. So do be, you know, keep your eye open for that. But essentially what I do say is that do watch out for the first 2 weeks after that eclipse. So from the 16th of July, 2 weeks after, so to perhaps like the ending of July, you will see something, you know, come to fruition, something manifesting in some way, in some area of your life. And that's what I'm going to be going through with you guys, depending on your zodiac sign or your rising sign, where or which particular area of life you will be seeing this energy of the full moon in Capricorn where you're going to be seeing it manifesting in your life. So let's go through the 12 signs of the zodiac. Let's start off with the number one, Aries, of course. So for Aries, for the Aries zodiac sign, the full moon eclipse is going to be in your 10th house. The 10th house that is the natural house of Capricorn, actually. So this is the house of your public reputations. This is the house of career, how people see you in the outside world. So perhaps something coming to fruition there. Maybe you've been getting a feeling that you want to change jobs. You want to go into a different direction, because the 10th house is about the direction, what you're aspiring for in life. Perhaps maybe you get some kind of insight, or something comes to fruition that gives you some light. Remember that the eclipses are about they're about light, but also about blocking out the light. So there is a hidden element about the eclipses also as well. So this can be a time where perhaps maybe you may want to end a job, or you may be considering maybe to go into a new one. You know, something around that, something around maybe you're looking for a promotion, you're looking for a better job, you know, but something to do with your public image, your public reputation, who you are in the outside world, what you're doing in society. There's going to be something in the next 2 weeks where you're going to be seeing that energy come to fruition. So bear that in mind. And I do want to also state that an eclipse is not a bad thing. Very often people get worried, they get anxious, they get, they seem to get, just thrown all over the place in regards of eclipses. Eclipses are not bad. Eclipses, they just magnify what's already there. I've stated this before in one of my previous videos where I've spoke about eclipses just magnify. So if it's something quite negative there, it can magnify that, and often will. But if there's something positive there, it can magnify that as well. So it's neither a good or bad thing. It's how we utilize that energy. It's what we do with that energy. And, it's from there we can say whether it's good or bad. But I understand where people are coming from when we use these terminologies. So let's move on to the next zodiac sign. So for Aries, it's your career. So don't forget that. It's about your public image. For Taurus, you're getting the 9th house. So the 9th house is about your beliefs, your philosophies, long distance traveling. It's also about higher learning. So it's connected with universities, publishing, things of that nature. So there may be something, again, coming to fruition in that particular area. Maybe you're a Taurus who's already planning his or her journey out there. For Taurus, it's really going to be about broadening your horizons, broadening your perspective. So this full moon eclipse is going to be landing in a particular area of your chart that's allowing you to really broaden those horizons and really, really question the meaning of life and be looking at your philosophies of life. Perhaps maybe your beliefs may be tested. Maybe there may be something around your morals or your ethics that comes up. Because that's what full moons do. They bring things up. So do watch that over the course of the next 2 weeks after the lunar eclipse. Or perhaps you could be also going on holiday. Because the 9th house is also the house of holiday. Perhaps maybe you're going to be considering, perhaps maybe going back to university, want to take on a course, want to study. That could be also another option also for you. So that's what it's going to be for you, Taurus people. Let's move on to the next sign, which is Gemini. For Gemini, you get in the 8th house. 8th house is the house of other people's resources, other people's money. It's to do with tax, inheritance, mortgages, credit cards, your partner's money. So with getting a full moon happening in that house, perhaps maybe you may get a payout back from the tax return, or you get an offer from your bank, offering you a loan or a credit card, or perhaps your partner comes into some money, or perhaps maybe some kind of inheritance also as well, maybe within the family. Of course, that could be a little bit sad because that could also involve maybe you lose somebody. The 8th house is also the house of death, but it doesn't always have to be a physical death. It can just be a death of anything that is no longer necessary in your life. So that's where that full moon essentially is coming out. So you want to, perhaps pay some, attention to that. So it's eighth house stuff. Eighth house is very often known as the house of transformation. So this lunar eclipse in your eighth house will bring about something for you that will allow you to transform something in your life. You know, you can get rid of something in your life over the next 2 weeks, and you'll see what it is. But often with the eighth house, although it seems like we lose something, also often give something back also in return also as well. So do watch out for that. And that's where the other people's resources, other people's money, maybe a tax, maybe inheritance, perhaps could be coming your way. Next zodiac sign is Cancer. Well, Cancer is very, very crucial with this eclipse because obviously it is the Cancer Capricorn axis where it's taking place. So for Cancerians, you're getting the seventh house. The seventh house is the house of relationships, the house of partnerships, the house of opponents, and it can be enemies, people who you deal with on a one-to-one level. It's the house of marriage, partnerships of all sorts. It could be a business partner as much as a husband or wife, or girlfriend or boyfriend, or whoever, any kind of partnership on any kind of level. It's also the house of contracts also as well. So we're getting a full moon here in your seventh house. So the seventh house has been highlighted for you Cancerians. That means that relationships are going to be brought to the surface. And again, the moon being there, so perhaps maybe at the beginning, it could be an ending of something within a relationship, not necessarily the end of a relationship itself. So I don't want you Cancerians panicking saying, oh, Israel said my relationship's going to end. No, I did not say that. But perhaps something within that world, within your relationship world, within the world of how you deal with other people may come to fruition, because that's what the full moon is about. You know, perhaps this is the time where you will see it for where it is, or for what it is, for where it is, for what it is, those kind of things. So do watch out for that. So it's all about relationships. Perhaps maybe it could be an ending of a contract on some kind of level. Perhaps you meet somebody new, again, who plays a very important role in your life in terms of some kind of partnership. So that's what it's going to be for you Cancerians. It's really going to be about that seventh house. And let's remember that Saturn is already there also as well. So you're having to tie up the loose ends about relationships. This can be a time maybe to question it, to scrutinize it, to look at it properly for what it really is. Next zodiac sign, we've got the Leos. You special Leos, you kings and queens of the zodiac. Well, what is it for you? You've got the sixth house. It's about work, baby. The sixth house is about work, everyday routines. It's about illness. It's about health. It's about your diet. It's about all of these things. So we've got a full moon landing in your sixth house. So this could, manifest in your life as perhaps maybe you just want to change your diet. You want to look at your diet. You want to look at what you've been eating. You want to start trying to become more healthy. You want to cut out certain things. You want to cut out certain habits, because the sixth house is also to do with our daily rituals, our daily habits also as well. So maybe it could be a time, maybe you say, oh, I want to give up smoking, or I want to give up drinking, or I want to start drinking less, or I want to cut out meat, or, I want to become a vegetarian, or whatever the case. It could be a number of various things that is connected with, that are part of your daily life. The sixth house also is the house of work, your day-to-day details. What do you do at work? What does it entail? So there could be changes here with work also for the Leos also as well. New job could be on the horizon. Maybe you're thinking about packing what you're doing in, or just changing the whole structure of it also as well. Having to take more responsibility in the workplace. Perhaps maybe you may be working a bit more, taking an extra time, maybe taking on an extra job. That could be also something as well. So do look out for that for you Leos. And again, like I said, you will see that over the course of the next 2 weeks of that eclipse happening, manifesting in your life. So watch how that goes. Next zodiac sign, we've got the Virgos. And the Virgos get the fifth house. This is the house of play. It's the house of creativity. It's the house of progeny, children. It's also connected with hobbies, or hobbies that we like, pursuits that we like. So for you Virgos, we're getting a full moon there in that fifth house. So this could be You know, again, if you are in that kind of relationship, it's something that you've been looking forward to. We could be seeing Virgos perhaps maybe getting pregnant also as well, maybe having children, or perhaps if you're a Virgo, maybe you've already got children. Maybe spending just more time around the children, that brings out that inner child inside of you, and you just become more creative with the children that you already have. So that can be an outlet. Perhaps maybe you find something about the hobbies and certain talents that you possess also as well. Maybe it's something that maybe you used to play a musical instrument, or you used to dance, or you used to do something that you really enjoyed, and you rediscover it. It comes to fruition, it comes to full light. That which was hidden must come into the light. So there's a realization about a hobby. The fifth house is also connected with love affairs, like things like dates. So don't be surprised if you're a Virgo and, you know, you're getting people sort of like sending you texts or hitting you up, you know, sliding in your DMs, you know, and sending you some messages about, oh, can we go out for a drink, and can we go out for a date or something like that. You know, having a nice time, having a party. Perhaps maybe you getting invited to lots of parties, or, you know, over the course of the next coming weeks also as well. That's also fifth house too. It's all about pleasure, creativity, having fun, you know, that kind of thing. So it's quite different from you working Virgos, I suppose. So that's what it is for you Virgos. Next zodiac sign is Libra. So for Libra, it's the fourth house. The fourth house is the home, it's the foundations. So for Libras, perhaps maybe home movements, perhaps maybe just looking into, perhaps maybe investing in, perhaps maybe in buying a property. Perhaps maybe you're happy where you are as a Libra, where you're living right now, and you just want to change the dynamics of the home. Perhaps maybe there's going to be a strong pull towards family, perhaps maybe father in particular, but also maybe mother as well. So a strong connection with one of your parents, perhaps. Maybe you see them more, maybe you may see them less for whatever reason. But you're going to be pulled more into the sphere of the family dynamics. That's what the fourth house is about. It's really about the family dynamics. There may be things that coming from the past, from your early childhood years, your upbringing years within the home, that really come up also again with this full moon landing in your fourth house. So it's really about the domestic arena. It's about the family. It's about the home. It's about your sense of security, your private life. The fourth house is really your sanctuary, your home. So that's where that full moon is going to be landing, for you. So some revelation, because a full moon really brings a revelation. That's what essentially, what it does. It brings a light. Something comes to fruition. Something comes to its peak. So do watch out for that for the Libras. The next zodiac sign is Scorpio. Scorpio, you get in the third house. Third house is the house of learning. Third house is the house of short journeys. It's the house of movement, how you can move from one place to another. This is that, that house is a very airy house. It's the house of Gemini, the third house. So we could be experiencing perhaps maybe changes around how you commute, perhaps maybe changing your vehicle, perhaps. I've seen lots of people very often when the full moon lands in their third house, they will change their car or need to go and get their car serviced, or they may change the way in which they commute. They may take more public transport, or they buy a bike, or buy a new car, or something of that nature. Or perhaps maybe taking a driving test, learning how to drive, learning how to commute. Also as well, it's the house that is connected with siblings, it's connected with communication, so maybe more communication with the siblings. Perhaps you hear something with a sibling that brings you more closer. With a sibling, you develop more of an emotional connection, perhaps with the sibling over the course of the next 2 weeks by landing in your third house. Third house is often also connected with communication, so you may be communicating more. You may find yourself writing more and reading more, and also study also as well, because it is a house of knowledge as well. It is connected with knowledge. It's got gnosis, so you may find yourself studying, perhaps maybe going on a short course or something of that nature. But really, a lot of mental orientated, a lot of mental movement. That's what it's going to be for you, Scorpios. Let's move to the next zodiac sign, which is Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you're getting the second house, house of money, house of finances, the house of values, your house of talents. You know, full moon landing in the second house can be a real great positive thing. Perhaps there's going to be some light shed, something peaking in regards to how you make your money, your attitude towards money. Perhaps you may have some more money coming in. Perhaps you may have some big expenditures also as well. It could work either way, especially in Capricorn, you know, and with Saturn there also as well. You know, perhaps maybe there's going to be some kind of revelation of some sort that is going to be showing you how to manage your money and how to also utilize your talents in order to perhaps maybe also be able to make more money, you know. So those are the things that you need to watch out for. But it's second house very often, as the saying say, what do people who have money, what do they want? They want more money. So sometimes we're never satisfied with how much money we have in the second house. But it's all going to be to do with your sense of security, your self-esteem, how you're carrying yourself also as well, how you feel. Are you feeling low? Are you feeling high? If you are going to be feeling low over the next couple of weeks, and especially around your finances and your money-making schemes, perhaps maybe you need to take a bit more discipline. You know, that full moon is perhaps showing you that, okay, you need to be more responsible in terms of how you're spending your money and how you're getting your money also as well. So that's what it's going to be for you, Sagittarius. And we all know you Sagittarians sometimes can be a little bit wild, a little bit volatile. You know how it is, and you could get a little bit volatile with the money. So do watch the pennies. Next zodiac sign, well, it's in your sign where the eclipse is taking place, Capricorn. Capricorn, you get the first house. Perhaps the most important house in astrology is the first house. Not perhaps, it is, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, so the first house is about the body. It's about the physical self. It's about the health. It's about the spirit. It's about your vitality. It's about your public appearance. It's about how you want other people to see you, how you go out into the world. The first house is about how you initiate yourself, you see. So by this full moon eclipse landing there may be something about the body, about your health. Perhaps maybe this is a good time for you to perhaps maybe you want to join the gym, or maybe you want to stop joining the gym, or maybe you want to change gyms, you know, if you're already a member of one gym, something like that. Maybe you want to get a tattoo done. Maybe you want to put on some weight. You know, if you want to lose weight, you want to cut your hair, you want to dye your hair, you want to get an earring or something. You just want to change your image. You know, by changing your image is actually telling us something about our inner psychological being also as well. There's something within ourselves that we're perhaps looking to change, which manifests on the external, so by getting an earring, a tattoo, having your hair done is actually a reflection of what's going on in the inside of the spirit, of the soul, which is what the first house essentially is about. So the whole personality becomes a whole, people may see something different about you. You see, your vitality, will be raised. And because it's also a lunar eclipse in Capricorn, and it's for you guys, and it's in your first house, your emotions are going to be very, very high. So for you Capricorns, I am going to definitely, and I know for Capricorns, very often, not for all, because I don't want to generalize too much, but very often Capricorn doesn't necessarily like to deal with things that are emotional. It may seem, sometimes it wants to lock out the emotions, it wants to block the emotions. So for Capricorns, do be wary of your emotions over the next couple of weeks after the full moon eclipse, because you may be feeling more energized or more sensitive to your environment and to people also around you as well. And it may encroach on your inside feelings, and you may want to just shut them out, or you may try to shut them out. But my advice is to you just to try and feel and to try and deal with it, the best way you can. But you are definitely going to be feeling very emotionally charged. That's for sure, because it's in your first house where it is. Okay, next zodiac sign, Aquarius. Aquarius, you're getting the 12th house. The 12th house is a very seclusive house. It's a hidden house. It's a behind the scenes house. It's a great house for going and looking into different spiritual disciplines, meditation, yoga, perhaps traveling on a retreat, something like that. So that could be something that's, in store for you, or that you could be looking into. You may find yourself, again, over the next couple of weeks after the eclipse, just kind of going into a bit of a, a bit of a cave. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with going into seclusion. It's a great time to reflect, especially with the moon there being in the 12th house as well. It's a great time to reflect. For any of you Aquarius people who do poetry or do anything creative, this could be a real great time for you. You may find yourself that you're really tapping into a world of information and of knowledge. So that could be real great and real wonderful for you too. But it's a more behind the kind of scenes kind of house, the 12th house. It's more of a quiet house. You just want to take some time out. It's a great time for detoxing on every level, whether it's a physical detox, a mental detox, detoxing the spirit in whichever way you can. It's a great time for releasing, for letting go, for forgiveness, for reflecting back on the things that you perhaps feel you haven't done properly, and get ready to plant those seeds so that you can start again at some point down the line and reinitiate that also as well. So it's also about for planting the seeds and also for planning, you see. So it's very, very good for that too. So that's what it is for you Aquarius. You get in the 12th house. Can be a little bit quiet, but can be a great time to reflect on one's self. And the last but not the least is the Pisces. Pisces, you're getting the 11th house. This is a great house. It's known as the house of good spirits. The 11th house is essentially the house of friends, acquaintances, groups. It's a networking house, essentially. It's a very humanitarian house. It's very public. The 11th house is also the house of gains. So there can be gains that you can also be getting here. By the full moon landing in your 11th house, perhaps maybe you can be getting gains from friends. It may not necessarily always be money, but it could be money. It could be money from your work. You put in some nice networking connections, and then you gain something through that. You gain something. You gain some more finances, perhaps. That also is a possibility also as well. The 11th house is also the house of hopes, dreams, and wishes. So hopefully, again, with this full moon in your 11th house, perhaps maybe you get some insight into what it is you've been hoping for. What it is that you've been it's a very 11th house is very aspirational. So you may start to see yourself like, I've been trying to climb to the top, and this is where you see the light at the end of the tunnel. So perhaps maybe a sign of hope in the future, especially in those next couple of weeks after that full moon eclipse, is something that you can definitely be seeing. There could be a spotlight there. There could be a radiant light of that moon's eclipse in your 11th house coming there. Also, watch out for friends, organizations, groups. Perhaps you may meet new people. Perhaps maybe there may be people in your life who, again, it's peaked. That's what a full moon is. Perhaps maybe friends or people like that in your life, again, who may, you may not see them again. It's peaked, it's come to fruition, they have served their purpose in your life also as well. So watch out for that activity also as well. But generally, the 11th house is quite a good house. It's quite cool. So definitely watch out for that. So that is the end. That is the full moon, the lunar eclipse in Capricorn for the 16th of July, 2019. Just enjoy. That's all I can say. Enjoy it to the fullest ability. Like I said, it's not bad. It's not good. It's all how we use it. It's a very sensitive point at the time of the month, at the time of the year, and we can utilize these energies. We can tap into them, and they can really allow us to grow again, in consciousness. So yeah, do enjoy. I'll be back soon, be giving you more updates on the planetary activity. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. And those of you who are following me, thank you very, very much for your support, indeed. And with this full moon in Capricorn, I want you to think responsibility, think structure, think ambition. Think of the mountain, aim high, think of authority. Yeah, those are sort of like some key words that I can definitely give you. And think of hardship. Nothing wrong with that. We all go through our hardship. We've all got our mountains that we have to climb. You know, although we're not all Capricorns, there's a Capricorn inside of all of us. We all have a mountain go inside of us that is looking to climb somewhere, someplace, you know. And so that's what it's about. So on that note, thank you very much. Astrology of the Soul. My name is Israel Josie, and I'll be back with you again very soon, letting you know the updates of what is to come. Thank you very much, guys.